Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for yet another AC Milan news video where I'll be speaking about the latest transfer news and rumors currently going on at the club. With that being said, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Hope you guys had good memories with your families. And of course, still celebrating that Supercoppa win that happened on Friday. But we are now looking forward to the start of the new year. Also because the transfer window is fast approaching us. And also the new Serie A games will soon begin after the start of 2017. But today, in specific, I want to speak about Luis Adriano and Milan Badelj, as well as Orsolini and the contract extensions regarding Suso and Bonaventura. So I'll be speaking about all of this in today's video, and as usual, I want you guys to leave your comments on these news. What do you think about them, so we could discuss about it later on in this live stream. But starting off with Luis Adriano, now it seems that Spartak Moscow and CSKA Moscow are the two teams that are both interested in signing Luis Adriano. Now, back last week, I did mention that Spartak Moscow had already shown interest in Luis Adriano. However, there were some reports from various journalists and agents saying that it wouldn't be an ideal player to sign for these teams. But what it seems like right now is that Milan and Spartak Moscow are currently undergoing negotiations for the player, and as a matter of fact, Galliani will be meeting with his agent tomorrow in Rio in Brazil. Now, Milan could potentially make 7 million euros out of this sale, and it seems to be a pretty promising amount if you ask me. We're not losing too much money on Luis Adriano, and I think 7 million euros is a pretty fair price if you ask me. In order to sell Luis Adriano, a player that hasn't been getting much playing time this season, and as we all know for a long time now, it seems like his way out the door was more than evident since he wasn't getting much playing time. But Spartak Moscow is definitely a likely destination for the player in January. Like I mentioned several times, it is important that we actually sell these players because these are the only funds that will be generated ahead of the winter mercato. We have no transfer budget for the winter mercato, and that means that all our funds that we will be getting will depend on the sales that we make. Now, speaking of sales, if we do sell Luis Adriano, it seems that the primary target will be Milan Badelj. Now, obviously, this player has been in our radar, under our radar for quite a long time now. We wanted this player back in the summer when we were asking Fiorentina for the player, but we technically didn't have enough funds to buy him, and all sorts of problems were caused. Fiorentina didn't want to sell the player for various reasons, but Badelj has mentioned it several times. He wants to leave Fiorentina, and Milan is definitely a likely destination for the player. So what Milan intends to do is use the money that they will generate with the Luis Adriano sale to sign Milan Badelj, and as I said, he's requested by Montella, and he definitely wants to bring this player in, who could also be a player that will help Locatelli or replace him at certain times. Because let's be honest with ourselves, you know, Locatelli has been playing quite a few games this season, but chances are that he won't be able to play every game from now on until the end of the season. And I think Milan Badelj is definitely a player that could do very well at Milan. He has experience. He's 27 years old. He's a defensive midfielder. And, you know, as I said, he has experience in the Serie A. He's doing well. He has a contract until 2018. But like I said, chances are he will be leaving as he doesn't want to remain at Fiorentina. This season, so far, he has scored 1 goal and added 3 assists in 16 appearances in the Serie A. So pretty promising results there for a defensive midfielder. Now, obviously, Locatelli has scored more goals. We all know that. But I think it could be a very suitable backup to Locatelli, or even a starter. Someone that could just help him build that experience and always be there for him whenever Milan needs something to have help with. So in my opinion, this will be a very smart purchase from Milan if we actually manage to get him. I think that Milan will definitely benefit if we manage to get Milan Badelj. But more developments around the story will be made in the next few days. Now, moving on, I wanted to speak about contract renewals, specifically regarding Suso and Bonaventura. Now, speaking about Suso, the latest reports are mentioning that Milan have reached an agreement to extend Suso's contract until 2021. However, just the official announcement is missing. Now, I know that Suso will get a contract extension, but I say we should always celebrate until when the moment comes, when the official confirmation from the club is made. That is when we are 100% sure. Now, Suso, apparently he will be earning 2 million euros plus bonuses, and these bonuses, of course, depend on whether Milan make it to the Champions League, their performance in the Champions League, probably how many goals or assists he makes. There's all kinds of claims towards these bonuses, but the important thing is that this contract extension will arrive very soon, because it is important to have these players under our belt. We cannot afford to get rid of these players such as Suso and Bonaventura. They're very important players to our team, and I'm very happy that Milan is making good steps forward towards extending these players' contracts. Like I said, Suso's contract should be official in just a few days' time. Now, speaking about Bonaventura, for him, it's still not official, just like Suso, but it seems like there's certain problems towards Bonaventura's contract extension that Suso's contract extension currently doesn't have. Now, in terms of details for Bonaventura's extension, it is expected that he will be getting an extension until 2020, so that will be 4 years from now, and that his wages will increase from 1 million to 2 million a year. Obviously, this will also include bonuses apart from these 2 million wages that you will be earning every year. So it will be 2 million plus bonuses, just like Suso will be earning. Now, the only real problem that this extension is currently undergoing right now is that apparently Milan still owe Bonaventura 500,000 euros. Now, this is something that was promised by the club. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know the reason as to why this amount of money was promised to Bonaventura, but it seems that he still hasn't received it. And until he doesn't receive this sum, it seems like Bonaventura will have some problems in getting this contract extension. Now, personally, I do believe that the contract extension will arrive, and I think these are little problems. I don't think 500,000 euros is something that won't make this contract extension occur, especially considering the fact that the Chinese are coming in. Now, this, to me, could have been a problem when the old management was still there. You know, we have been very cheap, let's be honest with ourselves, when it came to transfers, contract extensions. Just, I don't know if you guys recall, but when we were making certain transfers or attempting to make certain transfers, just because there was a difference of 500,000 to 1 million euros, we couldn't go and sign the player for some reason. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Now, this shouldn't be a problem to when the Chinese step into the game. So, in my opinion, this will be solved, and Bonaventura will be earning a contract extension just like Suso. I think everything should be finalized in just a few days, but until then, we are awaiting for the official confirmation. Moving on, I want to speak about Orsolini, because apparently Milan have made steps forward to sign the Ascoli winger Riccardo Orsolini. Now, Sky is reporting that Milan could be closing the deal for 2.5 million euros. And once again, this is something that we have already mentioned last week regarding his price tag. And the deal is progressing slowly because every decision should be agreed between the current ownership and the Chinese. This is what Sky is reporting. And like I said, you know, every decision from now on will depend on both the old management, or as we could say, the current management, and the Chinese, the next management that is coming in. Decisions need to be mutual between these two parties. Until then, they cannot come to a full agreement to either sign a player or not. But Riccardo Orsolini is definitely a player that interests the Chinese, that interests Galliani and Berlusconi, and I think that Riccardo Orsolini could be one of our signings in January, along with Milan Badelj. So just to give you guys a little recap before I get into your comments, Milan Badelj and Riccardo Orsolini seem to be the most likely signings at the moment for the winter transfer mercato. Luis Adriano, on the other hand, seems to be the most likely player that will depart from Milan, while Suso and Bonaventura are very close to obtaining their contract extension, which will be up to 2020 and 2021 respectively. So let's get into your comments now, guys, and let's read what you guys think about these news. Any suggestions, anything that you guys are not clear about, these recent news and rumors that you want me to clarify, this is the time to do it. So let me know what you guys think. Now, Abdul goes on to say, Gio, I don't understand why Milan required the vote of the Chinese for every move that they make. They still haven't bought the club, and such politics is just slowing down deals. Can you clarify this for me? Well, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's say you're selling a house to someone and that person wants the bathroom to be in a certain way, the kitchen to be in a certain way, because they will be buying the house, right? Same concept could be made for the Chinese. They are the ones buying the club, and they will be the ones pretty much stuck with these players once they purchase the club. So why wouldn't they want to have a say in the decision whether they should be having a player or not? This is exactly the reason as to why both parties need to come to an agreement, because the Chinese, once they take over the club, they want to make sure that they have the players that they want as well, rather than what the current management wants to sign. I hope this clarifies it for you. If you have any other questions concerning it, let me know, Abdul. Andrea Rossi confirms Orsolini is near to Milan. We need the okay by the Chinese. So what's the best we can hope for this January, says Cesare. He says Vangioni, Adriano, Honda and Sosa out. Orsolini and Badelj in. Well, it's very likely that Orsolini and Badelj will be in, like you said there. Vangioni could very well leave. Adriano, it's almost sure that he will leave. Sosa, I don't think so, just because he mentioned today that he wants to remain at Milan and he has no intentions of going elsewhere, so I think he's pretty happy with the playing time he's getting. He's pretty okay with not playing and just staying on the bench and waiting for Montela's call, I guess. But it's very likely that Jose Sosa will not be leaving. Vangioni, Luis Adriano, very likely that they will leave. Maybe Vangioni out on loan. Adriano will be a permanent transfer. As for Honda, I simply don't know what will happen with him. I don't think he's going to be leaving on loan. If someone wants to buy him, then that will be the move. But a loan option, I think, in my eyes, it's to be excluded. Vangioni and Eli need to leave, says La La La. Eli on loan to Cagliari, that could be a very good option for Eli and Milan to cut down the squad roster and also to bring out Eli on loan. I think that would be a thing that could benefit the player as well. Maybe he could get more playing time at Cagliari than he was at Milan. Eli, if I'm not mistaken, had no minutes whatsoever in this season so far. He hasn't played at all. So, in my opinion, you know, like you said there, Eli on loan to Cagliari could be a very good option. Aldo says, hey Gio, do you think Milan should renew Paletta's contract or get a new defender like Musacchio? Well, Paletta has definitely been a big surprise to us all this season. Like, I didn't expect that Paletta was going to come out to be so solid and amazing this season. And personally, I do believe that we need to renew his contract. Now, the main issue with his contract renewal are the wages. Paletta wants double the wages or something like that, and the Chinese are not agreeing on this fact. Now, in my eyes, I do believe that we also need a new defender, maybe like Musacchio, a guy that we were after all summer long this past summer, and we weren't capable of signing him. I think we should be able to keep both Paletta and Musacchio. However, if we do get a new defender like Musacchio, there's no reason whatsoever to give Paletta a new contract with increase in wages, because very likely that he will not be a starter if a new defender with a big price tag like 25-30 million comes in at Milan. So we'll see what happens with that, but maybe there could be a combination of both in the near future at Milan. But definitely I do hope that we do renew Paletta's contract. Clayton says, Gio, what do you think about Badelj? He can help Pasalic develop and Pasalic can stay. He can not only help Pasalic, I think he could help all the youngsters there in that midfield, including Locatelli, Pasalic, and others. He's a player with experience, like I said before, 27 years old. He knows the Serie A, he knows how to play in it. So, you know, he did very well at Fiorentina, and he could be a very good addition to the team on many different values and levels, you know. He's a solid player, can bring that experience, can help the youngsters. This is definitely a player that I would welcome at Milan. Jack, at left wing or center mid, what would you choose? Now, by center mid, I think you mean like left center mid, but left mid. But personally, that's a big question. I'll probably go with left wing. I think he's been very influential there in that position. Now, Sick Goal says, hey Gio, I hope you had a great Christmas and everything you want. God bless you and your family. Same to you guys. Same to you, Sick Goals. Thank you for that comment. Really appreciate that. Have you heard any rumors about a Greek left back? No, I have not. And chances are they were probably from an unreliable source, or else I would have probably heard about it already. Dayan Griezmann says, Gio, can Milan buy a new striker? Definitely not in this transfer window. Maybe in the summer if we sell Bacca, but definitely not now. I think we need the funds in order to sign a new striker. A winger, yes, it's probably incoming with Orsolini, but not a striker. Yes, obviously a striker like Belotti would be amazing, but I don't think that he will arrive anytime soon. Now, Karim says, sell Bacca and have Lapadula, Niang as striker options. I think if we do sell Bacca, another striker will come in. Lapadula and Niang. I mean, Lapadula is a good striker, but not really the level that Milan need. I think they need someone even better than Lapadula. They need a top striker, a top name. And Milan has always had a top striker at some time in their season. If they do sell Bacca, in my opinion, they will have to go for another striker. Lapadula and Niang just won't give the right certainties to win games for Milan, to win titles for Milan. Sure, Lapadula has been doing good, but to me, if we want to challenge in Europe, Champions League, and the league, we definitely need a top striker at all costs. Frank Antelope says, Gio, what are your thoughts on Milan adding Chow to the squad? Also, do you think that Onda and Bacca will leave in January? Not sure what do you mean by Chow. Is it another player's name? Did you mistype that? But like I said before, Onda and Bacca, Honda could possibly leave. I don't think Bacca will leave. No, I have not heard about the interest in 15-year-old Pietro Pellegrini. Yeah, I know he has debuted with Genoa, but I haven't heard any concrete reports regarding him. When is the next division game? I hope you mean Serie A by that, Giuliano. That will be on January the 8th against Cagliari. Clayton says, Gio, can you have a better Christmas present, win the Supercoppa on my birthday? Is it possible to buy Pasalic outright this January? Personally, I don't think Milan will be doing that for various reasons. First of all, his loan deal will end in June, so they want to see how he will perform until the end of the season. Because, sure, he has been doing good so far, but he has only played a number of games, and, you know, I think it's still premature to see if Milan want to buy him or not just yet. So his loan ends in June, and I think that's when the decision will be made. Second of all, Milan don't have the appropriate funds in order to buy Pasalic, and I don't think they will want to purchase or spend money now when they have the choice to do that in June. So for various reasons, I don't think Pasalic could be bought outright this January just yet. Geek 101 says, I think Back has been woeful this season, and Lapadula is simply not quite good enough to play there every game. We definitely need another striker. Fully agreed, Gio. In which positions does Milan really need new players? Definitely in the mid, a center mid, to be honest. Like I said, Badelj could definitely be a good addition. Orsolini as a winger backup, why not? 2 million euros for a young, promising Italian winger. I think it's more than good of a signing. Defense, I think we're pretty established in terms of players. Maybe we could add someone as a center back, but that probably won't be a starter this January. But all these players, most likely, if we need to make a major signing, will be made in the summer. Kayo, yes. Okay, that's what I thought you meant there, Frank. Yes, I think he could be a very good defender. You know, we were after him in the summer, and Kayo is a promising defender from Brazil. Once again, this won't happen anytime in winter, in my opinion. It will happen most likely if we are still interested in him in the summer. But in my eyes, I do believe that we will be signing a new center back in the summer at all costs, especially if the Paletta renewal doesn't go through. Abdul says, do you think Montella should continue with the 4-3-3 against the bigger teams? Yes, I don't see a problem with it. It has worked very well against Juventus this season twice. I don't think we should change formation. I think we're fine with that. Mad Designer says, Gio, I think that Antonelli is so underrated. He should be the one to play placing the useless De Gio. I don't like him. Well, Antonelli, I've always rated him highly. I've always said that Antonelli should get the start for those people that are new to the channel or have never heard of this. I always favored Antonelli over De Gio. Now, I'm not saying De Gio is a bad player at all. He has actually been quite good in certain games this season. What's missing in him is the consistency. We saw him have a beautiful, a surprising Euro in the summer, but after that, he just went back to his old inconsistency. And we need certainties in this team, and personally, I do believe that Antonelli should have the upper hand over De Gio, but these are all decisions to be made by the coach, Montella. Sufyan says, hello Gio, do you think we'll have enough funds to buy Badelj if we sell Adriano to Spartak Moscow? I'm pretty sure we will. Like I said, Milan's intentions are to sell Adriano and bring in Badelj. So, if those are the intentions, I'm pretty sure that it could happen. I'm just gonna answer a few more questions for you guys. If you guys still want me to answer some, I'll be reading it for the next few minutes, so send them in. If you haven't yet, also, I will take an opportunity to ask you guys to please like the video if you haven't yet, and also subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. Esborn gives a suggestion of selling Niang and getting Moussa Dembele from Celtic. Niang lacks confidence and he is not consistent. Now, Dembele is obviously a good player, but will he make an approach to the Serie A? Not very likely. But, definitely he could be an upgrade over Niang. But we'll see what happens there. And yes, he is young. So, Moussa Dembele, he's a young player. So, yeah, it could definitely be an upgrade over Niang. But I personally don't see that happening anytime soon. He has some very good statistics, but this is the Scottish Premiership. Yes, he scored also in the Champions League. He could definitely be a player that Milan will want to get. But at the same time, I'm sure there's also many other top teams that are currently after him. And this is why sometimes I mention it, the attraction of European football, Champions League, Europa League. These are the competitions that Milan needs to return to, simply not only for playing these competitions, but also to attract interest from players. Players want to go in clubs that play in these competitions. They don't want to go in clubs where they're just playing in the league. So it is important to return to Europe for various reasons, to attract new players, to hopefully get far in tournaments, to develop players that we already have. For many various reasons, European football is important. Jeffrey says, I like the way that De Scio is on the right and Antonelli on the left at the end of the Supercoppa versus Juventus, and that could be another solution. But at the same time, I want to speak very briefly about this. No one has mentioned this, surprisingly, but for those of you that are still wondering what's happening to Calabria, there were some news coming in today saying that he will be returning to train with the group, and he should be available for a call-up. Now, he should be available for a call-up for the next game if everything goes right, and this is big news because we've been waiting for Calabria for a while now, and I think this just adds to the already established competition that we have in terms of the fullback positions, with Antonelli, De Scio, Abate, now Calabria coming in the mix as well. Vangioni, obviously, I will exclude him since he's more than likely gonna be loaned out. But, I think we're pretty established in terms of fullbacks positions with Antonelli, Abate, De Scio, and Calabria. A mix of youth and experience, it's what we need. Also, the possibility of having certain players exchange positions between the left and the right, definitely adds to the disposal that we have in case some players are injured at some points. Abdul says, Gio, did you see the picture where Donnarumma kisses the badge? If Buffon is his idol, then he should become an AC Milan legend. Yes, I did see that picture, and it made me really, really happy. As a matter of fact, I've actually saved that picture on my phone. Alex says, Bacca and Lapadula are both better than Gabbiadini. Mr. Golissimo says, there are at least 3 players I would like to see at Milan offload, plus Adriano. For me, Poli, Honda, and Zapata, days should be numbered. Maybe loan out Eli and Vangioni. Definitely players that need to leave the club. I do agree with you there, Mr. Golissimo. If Milan buys Badelj, what does that mean for Montolivo in the summer? That's a very big question. I simply don't know what to answer to that. But if Badelj does come, it will once again improve competition for Milan. I don't think that Montolivo will be returning to the starting lineup if we have Locatelli and Milan Badelj playing in that position. And we also have the possibility now, as Montella has tried in the recent games, with Bertolacci there in the middle, So, lots of options there ahead of Montolivo. I simply don't know what could happen to him in the summer. Maybe he could get sold. Who knows? This is very far-fetched, and we're going to have to wait for that. Do I prefer Luis Adriano or Niang? Wow, what a question that is. Probably have to go with Niang, just Niang, because he's capable of doing very good things. I know Luis Adriano is capable of doing very good things as well, but Niang is really influential when he comes on, when he wants to be, obviously. Let's get that right first of all. But speaking about Luis Adriano, he's good. He did very good last season when he came off the bench, scored some very big goals coming off the bench. This season, he hasn't done much when he was given the opportunity in those very few minutes that he got. And this season, there's Lapadula that's ahead of Luis Adriano. So technically speaking, I value Niang higher than Luis Adriano. Aldo says, remember his first half against Sassuolo, he ruined all plays for Milan that half. Yes, I mean, Niang has little possibilities, little events that favor him. But at the same time, I don't think I need to tell you guys this, but he needs to improve on many levels. His character needs to be better, his attitude needs to be better, his concentration needs to be better. A lot of things need to be better for Niang, and he needs to improve in all those aspects if he wants to become an important player at Milan. Sick Goal says Milan signed Gio already. He will do a better job than Adriano, Honda, and other shit players. Matt says Luis Adriano has scored against Crotone, Sassuolo, Sampdoria, Atalanta, and Bologna. I think you're referring to last season there. But yes, he has scored many goals. Yes, he has scored many goals last season for Milan. But simply right now, he's not getting enough playing time. Lapadula is there. Lapadula is there. He's ahead of Luis Adriano. When Lapadula is better than Luis Adriano, he's not going to get many chances. And, personally, I think that is a major reason as to why Luis Adriano is getting sold. He's not getting the playing time because Lapadula is there. If Lapadula wasn't there, Luis Adriano was going to be possibly back as backup. So that is pretty much a real reason as to why he will be getting sold. Now, Daniel R says with 3 to 4 players we can beat Roma and Juventus for the Scudetto. Now, personally, I think Juventus already won the Scudetto. I mean, the difference between Juventus and another team in the Serie A, it's not that they're clearly better than every team. It's that they're consistent when they get the results. Unfortunately, the Serie A, not only Milan, but if you look at Milan, Napoli, Roma, sure, they're very good teams, but the problem with these teams is the inconsistency. They don't have consistency when it comes to results. For example, Roma and Napoli, they could drop points against one of the shittiest teams for some reason, and Juventus will take advantage of that on a weekly basis. That is the major difference between Juve and the other teams at the moment. I hope that Milan definitely build on the consistency. We have seen some progress in that regard this season. We definitely seen some progress in consistency, but still we're not there yet at the level of Juventus when it comes to getting consistent results. For example, the match against Atalanta, Juventus would have found a way to beat Atalanta, and unfortunately we're still not there with the mental capacity. I'm not saying we're worse than Juventus, because we could beat Juventus like we have seen it this year twice, not once but twice. So definitely we could do very good things, but it's gonna take time. So I'm just gonna answer 1 or 2 more questions, guys, before I do sign off. Abdul says, Gio, do you think that the Milan YouTube channel should create videos similarly to Man City, videos like the tunnel cam or player interviews that last longer than just 3 minutes? Definitely. I mean, one of the team channels that I like the most on YouTube is definitely the Man City channel. I find they really go in depth with the interviews and behind the scenes, like the tunnel cam. I think that is such a great addition to have to the viewers and the team's fans. I wish Milan will definitely improve in that aspect. If I had the possibility of doing that and going in the tunnel, I will freaking do that for you guys. But unfortunately, I don't have the rights. I cannot go to the San Siro in the tunnel and film for you. But I definitely hope that Milan do improve also in their media. They have shown little improvements this year on their YouTube channel, but I still think that they need to do much more and take Man City as an example of what they're supposed to do in videos. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you all for joining me in this live stream. Me speaking about the latest AC Milan transfer news and rumors. Once again, you guys could still talk about all these news today if you want in the comment section. I will be reading it throughout the day. But don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with AC Milan on a daily basis. We do make transfer news update on a daily basis here at Rossoneri TV to keep you guys updated with everything up to the day. And this will be going on all along the winter transfer window. So it's important to you guys to subscribe. We also got match previews, live watch-alongs, reviews, and so forth for you guys to enjoy. Lots of content coming in the next few weeks, so plenty of reasons for you guys to subscribe. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow for another video. This has been Gio signing off, and as always, Forza Milan.